Welcome back to Speducation. I am your host, Brandon Reed, and if this is your first time to the channel, a special welcome to you. Well, last week we wrapped up our series, What It's Like to Have a Learning Disability, and this week we're going to be talking about a new topic. What is it? Well, let's take a look. Today's lesson, Special Education Advocates. Now, you're probably wondering, what is a special education advocate? Well, that's what we're going to be talking about today. And we're also going to be talking about what their role is and how to find them. So first, let's talk about what a special education advocate is. An educational advocate is someone with extensive knowledge about special education programs, such as 504 plans, IEPs, and academic support that students can receive. This person educates parents, children, and teens about the resources available to them and how to acquire each resource as needed. So a special education advocate is someone who speaks on behalf of parents of children with learning disabilities in special education, because it can be a little overwhelming. And in the 16 plus years that I've been involved in special education, the one thing that I have noticed is that parents don't really know that much about special education. I mean, they know enough to kind of get by, but the terminology, the laws, their rights, and even some of the data that's thrown at them can be a little overwhelming. So, what are some reasons why you might need a special education advocate? Well, some of the reasons for a special ed advocate: help with understanding the terminology, help with providing a second opinion, identifying possible overlooked factors in their child's education, speaking up for the child, speaking up for the parent, and ensuring that all SPED procedures are being followed. And there are many more reasons why a parent might want a special education advocate. Now, when you do get a special education advocate, how does that work with the schools? So the advocate's role with the schools is as followed. Schools cannot share information with advocates if the parents do not allow it. The advocate is not a lawyer, but they can be. The advocate doesn't have to have a background in special ed. However, if the advocate is there for the purpose of special education, it's probably best if they did have a background in it. Advocates can speak on behalf of the parents. However, they may not be able to make decisions for the child on the parent's behalf. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, what I mean is that advocates can be there in meetings and even possibly show up at the meeting for the parent, but the parent has to be in attendance because the parent is the guardian, and any decision that is being made must be made by the guardian. Now, if the advocate is, let's say, a guardian themselves, then they can have some say. But all the advocate can do is basically provide guidance to the parents and help them find the best decision for their child. Now that you have a better understanding of what it means to have a special education advocate, how would you go about finding one? How to find a special education advocate? Well, there's the Council of Parent Attorneys and Advocates. You could always look up your state's Parent Training and Information Center. You can also talk to your school district special education PTA or PAC. And you can look at local chapters of advocacy organizations like Decoding Dyslexia or the Learning Disabilities Association of America, the LDA, an understood founding partner. And websites that provide advocate services. Now, I wasn't able to find a whole lot in other states, although I'm sure that there are some. But here in Indiana, you can look up arcindiana.org Educational Advocacy Program. And by clicking on it, it'll take you to their webpage where you can fill out a form to request a special education advocate. The main reason for special education advocates is to help parents, because again, it's not that parents don't care about their child's education and that's why they hire an advocate. It's because they do care about their child's education, because the more informed they are, the more invested they'll be. And having an advocate who knows the inner workings of special education is always a good thing. Hopefully this has enlightened you a little bit more about special education advocates. And if you have any questions about it or follow-up comments, please drop it in the line in the comments section. I'd love to hear from you. So what are we going to be learning about next week? Next week's lesson, how difficult is it to be a special education teacher? And if you liked what you saw, please click the like button. And if you want updates on future videos, feel free to click the subscribe button and ring the bell for updates on future videos. And as always, if you know somebody who might benefit from this channel, please feel free to share this channel with others, because the more people that I can get information to, the more people that I can help. And until next time, class dismissed.